big-time move here, Gary.
Talk about elevating and linger. Jermaine Griffin says, well, if Kobe can't do it, maybe it's my turn to take over. I'm the second leading scorer on this team.
Yo, what's good? Thank you for tuning in. Mel from Queens Sports Talk, WGJSradio.com, Our World Media. I'm your boy Mel, and I got a fake co-host over here. Always want to try to come on my show.
You're the fake co-host.
This fake co-host over here, Joelle. What's good, man? How you doing today?
Hi.
What's good? What we talking about? So today, before we get into it, we're going to talk about we're going to just talk about like the March Madness. March Madness has been crazy. We know that. Last night it was the Final Four. You had LSU and Virginia Tech, and you had Iowa and South Carolina. And everybody, sports, everybody, felt that South Carolina was going to do it again, and they was going to, run the tables. And they were the favorites. And Iowa, they're a good team. Of course, but the March Madness kind of make or break players, and Caitlin Clark pretty much went to work yesterday. She had another 40-point game. She had back-to-back 40-point games, in the NCAA. I believe that's a record. I don't think just for women's, but I think for men and women. But I would confirm that. But I know it's definitely a record, for the women, but it might be a record for both back-to-back 40s, in the NCAA tournament. I think that was like amazing to watch. I think that was an amazing thing. So I'm pretty sure because she's playing the way she's playing, they're probably gonna be the favorites over LSU. I can't really tell you who's gonna win because it's just so unpredictable right now. But I can definitely say that Iowa is going to be looking good, and they got a great chances because of Caitlin Clark. So great performance, one for the ages. And then tonight, we go to the men's. We got Florida Atlantic against San Diego State, and we got Miami and UConn. And I'm trying to figure out, it's like all the number ones is out. So I'm trying to figure out who I'm going to go with, who I'm going to pick. I think it got to be an upset. So if I can pick an upset, I think I'm going to go with Miami over UConn, which is probably not the best pick because UConn's rolling. They probably look like the best team. But you already know, like, sometimes just because you're the best team doesn't mean you're going to win. So that's going to be an amazing treat tonight. I think that's going to be two great games. We got a great Final Four from the women's. So I'm looking for a great Final Four from the men's as well. So let's see how that goes. So now we're going to transition to the NBA.
Bye-bye. Transition time.
So there's a lot of things that's been going on. So what's been keeping you on your toes in the NBA so far? Because the playoff time is coming.
Damian Lillard.
Hey, what about Damian Lillard?
In one of his games, he scored 71 points, I believe. 71 points.
Yeah, that was a couple weeks ago.
71 points. And one of his shots were like almost half court. And people like Steph Curry's a really good shooter, yeah. But I know Damian Lillard isn't a better shooter, but he probably has better range than Stephen Curry. That's what I think.
You know what?
It wasn't really a bad shot from Damian Lillard. If Steph Curry shot that probably would have been a bad shot.
Right. Now, I could kind of see that because Steph Curry hit, like, deep range shots as well. But I think, like, if you want to say, like, range, who might go a little further, I could say, like, Dame Lillard is, like, right there with Steph as far as, like, range. And every now and then they want to step out 40 feet, 45 feet, almost 50 feet. And hitting shots. So that's a good take.
That was pretty much a deep 4-point shot, pretty much.
Yeah, but now Portland, because of the Lakers won yesterday, the Portland, they out of the whole playoff race. It's a done deal for them.
Dallas too.
Yeah, Dallas too. Dallas too. They gone. Oh man, Dallas is clipped. I'm trying to see who's gonna blame this on. So it was funny because I saw a stat. And before people try to blame it on Kyrie, when Kyrie got to Dallas, they were only fifth or sixth seed. I think a fifth seed. But they're only 3 games above 500. So it wasn't like they were a great team. They wasn't a great team at all. 3 games in the West at that time, when you got all the other teams like so close, 3 games wasn't anything. So don't try to make it seem like, oh, because Kyrie came, they end up not being able to make the playoffs, because the Dallas Mavericks actually had a better record with Kyrie Irving when he played. I think they were like 3-1 versus when Luka played, the Mavs were 0-2. And I think probably because when they traded Kyrie, to Dallas, I feel like when they got rid of Dinwiddie and Brunson, well, Brunson had left earlier already, and then you get rid of Dinwiddie. I feel like they got rid of players that work with Luka better. Like once they got rid, I don't feel like those players that he has now are like great for him. So I think Dinwiddie was a better fit than Kyrie. I'm not saying he was a better player, but I mean for what Luka does, he's probably was a better fit. You know what I mean? Well, now you got Kyrie, it just changes the whole dynamics of Dallas, and now you got to kind of like begin to rebuild around Luka style of play mixed with Kyrie style of play, where before all you had to do was worry about Luka and everybody else just kind of fell in line. Yeah. So I don't look at that as like a bad thing. I just look at that as like they probably didn't have enough time to, to gel, get the chemistry down.
I mean that's true, but now look at KD and Phoenix.
See, KD just see Phoenix was a better team though.
Okay.
Right? I think Phoenix probably was a better team all year. They probably like kind of hung around the 3-4 spot all season, and you really didn't see them really going too much lower with as far as what you call it, Dallas. They only got 37 wins. I mean, and the Phoenix got 42, so there's only like a 5-game difference, which is not much. Yeah. But Phoenix pretty much for the whole entire season, they was like holding that number 3 to 4 seed down. Mm-hmm. And it was always pretty a lot. And I think like the way Kevin Durant is a little bit different than Kyrie, because he's a high field goal percentage shooter. Like, you know what I mean? His game, he can play without the basketball. He can play with the basketball, or he can play without the basketball. Yeah. What you think?
Huh?
Kevin Durant. He can play with the basketball, or he can play without the basketball.
Well, what do you mean when you say without the basketball?
Meaning like, so playing with the ball is meaning like some players, they got to be able to dribble, create, set people up, and they can kind of pretty much like, they need the ball in their hand, like a Westbrook, Chris Paul, LeBron James, James Harden, certain players like that. Steph Curry really doesn't need the ball in his hand to be effective. Mm-hmm. Like, he can get the ball in his hand, he can boogie and shoot, but at the same time, you got to watch him off screens, you got to watch him. Where as far as Kevin Durant, you can just kick it to Kevin Durant, he'll get his shot, or he can create his own shots off the dribble. So, I feel like also the Suns are a better defensive team. Dallas wasn't a defensive team, and then you had Kyrie and Luka. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? And you got Tim Hardaway. Like, none of your best players who play defense. Maybe who's your best defender? Christian Woods? And he's not even like.
Yeah, I suppose.
Right. You know what I mean? Like who's like? Say, like yeah. Right.
The defensive guy on that team.
Yeah. So it's like one of the issues is like defense. So now we're coming down to the final few games. And, it's looking like Golden State is going to lock up that number 6 seed. Mm-hmm. So it's looking like it's going to be Golden State versus Sacramento, unless the Lakers can jump them, or New Orleans, and within 2 games. They got about, let's say, 6 games to go.
About that, yeah. Some teams probably have like
5. Yeah, some 5, some 6, probably about 5. Yeah. So they probably got about 5 games to go. Mm-hmm. Golden State. The Lakers probably got about like 5 or 6 games. The same thing with like New Orleans. So the Lakers are tied with New Orleans right now, and the Lakers own the tiebreaker. So that means the Lakers only would have to play 1 game in the play-in. Yeah. If they got the 7th seed. If I'm the Lakers, I don't think that's a bad thing. I really don't want to take a risk with that extra game because anything could happen. Mm-hmm. But if I'm the Lakers, I feel confident if you telling me I'm playing Denver, if you telling me I'm playing Memphis, or if you telling me I'm playing Sacramento in the first round.
You fine with that?
I'm fine with that. Like,
so out of the teams you mentioned, which one is the bigger threat, you think?
The bigger threat, I would say, I ain't gonna say they're the biggest threat. I would say they're the scariest team. Mm-hmm. It's Sacramento.
Okay.
And the only reason why I feel like they're the scariest team because they had nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Like nobody's expecting Sacramento to do anything.
Yeah.
Right? So if they lose in the first round, you really think it's gonna be make front page news outside of just say Sacramento? It's not making NBA headlines. They lose to the Lakers in the first round. You think?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I mean, like I said, because Sacramento, to be honest, it's a surprise to even be
right.
where they are.
Right.
I mean, especially second seed. They came in, 7, 8. Okay, cool. Whatever.
Right.
But like, for them to be second seed in the West, and that team kind of came out of nowhere because Fox was over there, and then they added some bonus, and I think they have Barnes, but it's like. Who else is on the team?
Yeah,
I don't know who's playing.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how most people feel. They know Fox, they know Barnes, they know Sabonis, they know like a lot of other those players. But the thing is, like Mike Brown, man, you got to give him his respect, man. You know what I mean? Like another team. And it seems like he was the architect between that Golden State defense.
Yep. Because
ever since he left, Golden State defense, to me, has been trash. Nowhere near the same as it was when under Mike Brown as assistant coach. So Sacramento was scary, but I'm gonna go with right now Sacramento and the Lakers this year. Who are you picking in the playoffs?
What good players are in Sacramento?
De'Aaron Fox is like it's a bonus,
De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah, that's just like a name a few.
I think Lakers.
The Lakers, all right. So
wait, but is anyone injured on the Lakers?
You know what? It's funny. Anthony Davis just got injured with his ankle, man. It's like, dang. It's like
LeBron.
Every time
LeBron
just came back last week, so he had an injury with his leg, but he just came back. Mm-hmm. So now it seems like Anthony Davis is going to be out indefinitely. It seems like.
Yeah.
That's what it said.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on, man. It's like
you got my man Austin Reeves.
That's all right.
That's the Lakers savior now.
Right. So it's like this whole off and on thing. LeBron out, AD out. Like you know what I mean. Russell out. You still got Russell, D'Lo. You still got LeBron. Like you said, you still got Reeves. You still got Vanderbilt. You still got Beasley. You still got Schroeder. You still got who else?
But let me ask you. The players you just mentioned, right, on the Lakers, besides AD and LeBron, of course, can you depend on those role players?
I think this is like one of the best role players that they have. I think you could depend on Schroeder. I think he played like, he was on the championship team when they won the championship, I believe. He was on that championship team. He played in the Olympics. He's clutch. So I would say definitely Schroeder. Reeves, he's starting to find his way. He had a good regular season. I feel like every year he's making steps, but I feel like his confidence is there. So if you got those two, you got two. I feel like Vanderbilt was just an energy guy. He brings it every night.
Yeah.
The key pieces would be Beasley and Rui.
Okay.
Because I feel like Rui been a little streaky as of late.
Yeah.
And I feel like Beasley hit a little slump and he got out of his slump.
Okay.
If those two could kind of do their thing, then I think they'll be all right. Because you still got Walker. Mm-hmm. He can light it up any given time. And you still got Bryant. So if LeBron and just say Russell do what they have to do, I think the Lakers would be all right. You know what I mean? I'm not saying they're going to go undefeated.
But you saying they'll get past Sacramento?
They should. No. In the playoffs?
In the playoffs, yeah.
Without AD?
Yeah.
Dang, man, that can go either way. Without AD, I think that could go either way without AD.
Okay.
Because they're youth. Mm-hmm. And I think as good as LeBron is, his age is bound to catch up to him. Like we've been like, you know what I mean? Like it's bound to happen.
So speaking of his age, 'cause I know LeBron always been talking about playing with his son Bronny in the next 2 years, because that's when he'll be eligible.
Right.
Did you see the McDonald's high school game?
You know what? I didn't. I saw a couple of highlights. Okay. But I heard a lot of people talking some good stuff about Bronny.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people been saying like, LeBron James' son, right? Bronny. He played an All-American game, and I heard about the dunk contest, I believe.
Yeah, he did that too.
Yeah. Did he win it?
I don't think he won, but he actually on the second dunk, I believe, he dunked over his brother Bryce.
Oh, word?
He was bigger than Bronny.
Yeah. So wow. Yeah. So I gotta go catch that. And then everybody was talking about his shooting. They was like, "Yo, his shooting was like."
Yeah, his shooting was good.
Was fire.
A nice smooth shot.
Right.
I think he had like 4 threes or 5 threes.
Okay, yeah.
Altogether like 15 points.
15 points. Yeah. So that's good for like All-American game.
Yeah.
I like what LeVar Ball said. Like, I don't think that he should go to college. I think, because LeBron is already a millionaire, you don't need to go to college. Like, I would go overseas or something like that. I would play professional basketball somewhere else.
Okay, so with that being said, because now with college, they got the NIL deal where they can still get paid off their name, image, and likeness.
Yeah.
Or he can go overseas, get paid, or go to the G League and get paid. So I think if the question is not money, which one do you think would be better for his game to grow and development-wise?
One thing I would say is that I feel like a lot of those European players, they're coming to NBA a little bit more ready than college players because they're already playing professional players. You know what I mean? They might not be like the NBA players, but they still professional players. Mm-hmm. And even if you look at LaMelo and even LiAngelo Ball, when they went overseas, I think it helped them out a lot. Yeah. You know what I mean? You look at LaMelo, like LeVar said, LaMelo took that route. Mm-hmm. And I think it helped his game more so than hurt them. Because when you're playing with everybody who like, y'all all kind of like closer in build and strength and physical and mentality around the same age and stuff like that. Yeah. I'm not saying it's not going to push you, but it's not the same. Yeah. When you playing against experienced veterans, guys more physical. Grown men. Yeah, exactly. You playing against right.
26.
Right. Yeah. So I feel like that physicality in the sports make a difference. And I think, personally, I think that's what Bronny needs. I don't think he needs to be playing in college. I don't think it's going to help his game. I think he needs to be out there playing with some grown men, understanding the game, and then prepare himself for the NBA versus going the college route and just playing with college play. People might say, well, that's kind of weird. Why? Because that's the pattern that most people take.
Yes, it's the traditional path to the NBA. After high school, you go to college 1 year, maybe 2, and then you're off to the league. Yeah. But now, all these emerging European players, Giannis, Luka, Joker.
Right, exactly.
Guys, now even the other new kid who's supposed to be the potential number 1 pick. Wembanyama, something like that. Yep. So, it's interesting to see, if American high school players will continue to go the traditional college route, right? Or they would bounce out to overseas, or maybe even do the league and then go. I mean,
not only did LaMelo and LiAngelo do it, but also a few years back, Emmanuel Mudiay did the same thing. He went, he cashed out, and he still came and made number 7. I feel like he got blackballed because they ain't like, nah, man, we don't need people taking that route, but it is what it is. So my thing is like, all right, going forward, this year in the playoffs, right? As it stands now, who you think is going to win the East? The Bucks, the Cavs, the Celtics, or the Sixers? I feel like those probably the top 4 teams. Yeah. I don't think the Knicks, the Nets, none of those other teams. Miami is always going to be a scary team if they make it. But I don't think anybody else, Toronto, Chicago, Atlanta, Miami. Miami probably the only scary team that I would fear if I'm anybody. I'm always going to fear Miami because of what Jimmy Butler mentality brings to the game in the playoffs. And I think he can kind of will himself and the team like to certain series wins that a lot of players can't do.
I mean, on paper, they should be able to take the East. For whatever reason, the last 2-3 years, it's just not working.
Right.
I think between the Celtics and the Bucks, I think
The Celtics and the Bucks?
Yeah, even though I think Embiid has something to prove because he's on this quest to be the MVP this season, and he's been healthy. Knock on wood, he's been healthy.
Yeah.
Longer than most previous seasons that he's played. So I think he's going to be like when playoffs come. I think he's going to be on an absolute mission to tear up the league.
Yeah.
And take the Sixers all the way to the finals.
All right. So only thing about Embiid, I feel like sometimes with Embiid, he chokes. Mm-hmm. Not chokes. I ain't gonna say he choked, but I feel like he don't take his team to the next level.
Yeah.
But Harden, you can't really count on him.
Yeah.
So I would say the sleeper team in the East is the Cavs.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they're deep enough. Mm-hmm. They can play any style.
Yeah.
Big, small, shooting, rebounding, blocking. Man in full court defense, man-to-man pressure.
Yeah.
They got bigs. You know what I mean? It's like it's nothing that the Cavs can't do.
Yeah.
So I want to see them in a 7-game series, and I want to see what Donovan Mitchell could do because it's time for him to kind of like go next level now. It's like they always want to call players stars. You like Donovan Mitchell? You like Donovan Mitchell that played for the Cavs? Or you don't really rock with him like that? You don't really know?
Unfamiliar.
Oh, okay. So who you picking to win the East?
Bucks.
The Bucks? Okay, yeah. I mean, I can see the Bucks. I think the Bucks is the most scariest team, the most dangerous team in the playoffs because they're so deep.
Yeah.
And they got like that they still got a hunger about them. Some teams they win a championship and they kind of like, it seemed like the Bucks never took their foot off the gas. And Chris Middleton got injured last year. They was battling. So I'm excited to see this year. The West is just wide open, man. I don't think you can really call it. I mean,
for the West, I got two teams. I got the Warriors or the Suns.
The Warriors or the Suns. I can see that. Yeah, I can see that.
And my sleeper team would be the Nuggets.
The Nuggets, yeah. I think they probably want like the Nuggets, a team like that to kind of make it. But so I can see that happening. I think my pick would be I can see the Suns and the Warriors or the Lakers. I would say those 3 teams. Okay. I feel like it's not going to be a new team. And even if it's a new team that come out the West, they're not going to win it. Okay. If a new team come out the West, just say like a Denver, or like a Sacramento or Memphis, they just dog and pony show in the finals. Like, so? yeah. Like they ain't going to win it. Like if I see one of those teams, I'm on the East.
Really?
Yeah.
But so I like Memphis. I want to see them win. I
think Memphis is a fake team.
They real physical and they kind of have like that old style Memphis. Just hard.
Yeah, hard. Right.
Blue collar, work hard.
Right.
Get it by any means necessary type of mentality. That's kind of how to play the game.
Yeah.
But I want to see them win. I like them. They got Public Enemy #1 over there.
Oh yeah. Brooklyn Brooks, and
NBA YoungBoy.
Right. What you think? You like Ja Morant? Is he one of your favorite players?
Well, he's one of my friend's favorite players.
Oh, is he not one of yours? So who would you consider like your favorite players?
Like top, how much?
Right now.
How much people?
Just say top 5.
Top 5. So Stephen Curry.
Okay.
Damian Lillard.
Okay.
LeBron James.
Mm-hmm.
Giannis and KD.
Oh, okay. You forgot about Kyrie on this one. Kyrie not your dude no more? He not top 5 no more?
Damian Lillard replaced him.
Damian Lillard?
If Damian Lillard didn't score 71...
I'm taking Kyrie over Damian Lillard.
If Damian Lillard didn't score 71, then I'd take Kyrie. But
you know what showed me Dame was fake? He ain't about that life? When they played Golden State. When they played Golden State in the Western Conference Finals, with no KD was injured, it's you and CJ, your whole crew, against Steph and Clay. That was your chance. And he got murdered. He got murdered by Steph. It wasn't even close.
But the Warriors is a great team. I mean,
but what I'm saying was they didn't have. That was the year when they had KD and KD got injured. Yeah. So they wasn't as good. I mean, they lost to Toronto in the finals. Yeah. So without KD, the Warriors was always beatable.
Yeah.
So I feel like that because they traded players to get KD. Well, not traded players. He came as a free agent, but because they kind of helped build their roster around KD and what they had going on.
Yeah.
Like Golden State was still, I saw like a window for anybody, and that's why I like Toronto. And it's like Dame wet the bed. He really like he got murdered, man. Like Steph is like
not Dame Dollar.
Yeah, he got I think Steph is like he averaged like 36, like 8 and something, and Dame was like 20 something, man.
But
shooting bad.
But the thing too, okay, he did shoot a little bad, but he's not, Steph was like a once in a generation player as far as the shooting.
Yeah.
So I mean, something like.
But now you can't. But you can't talk like you that dude, and you like wet the bed like that.
I mean, but then too, okay.
Clay and CJ was even.
Yeah.
I mean, CJ actually had a little better stats, but Clay and CJ was even. But CJ, you could pretty much, if you want to give a slight edge, which it wasn't much, you might want to give the slight edge to CJ.
Okay.
Because he kind of have a better all around player than Clay, just a little bit. They were so close though. It wasn't like it was like super gap. Yeah. It was like by really marginal numbers.
But see, I have a lot of respect for Dame, especially that game where he sent Westbrook and them boys home.
Oh yeah. Right.
So I mean,
but see, he's always like a first round guy though. Yeah. He might get you a first round win, and then second round is a done deal.
Yeah.
So it's like the way he talk or the way he act or the way he try to like move. I feel like he should be like an Iverson. A LeBron,
but he's not.
But he should be able to carry a team like that and put him on his back and be like, that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like he's not that. He's good.
Yeah, he's great.
But he's not that.
He's not that.
Yeah, and that series exposed him to me.
And his team, the team is not good. The Blazers not.
But I mean, at that time though, they had a better roster. They had Whiteside, they had CJ. It was him. I know they had Rodney Hood at the time. They had some good.
But it was good. 6-man, he's good.
Yeah, I think they had a good enough team at that time. I'm talking about the time when they lost to Golden State in the conference finals. They had a good enough team. I mean, you're in the conference finals.
Yeah.
Most teams, you're not in the conference finals by accident.
Yeah.
So if you're in the conference finals, I mean, you should have a legit chance to make the finals. If you look at the 1, 2, and 3 on Golden State and Portland, you might as well say Portland won every matchup except Steph. And Steph dominated Damian. So that made a difference. Like that if you take the extra 12 points that Steph got over Dame, that was like the difference in the series because they probably had a margin, just say like an 8-9 point win. Per average. If you look at average. That was like the average margin to win, which means some games are a little closer.
But all right, so let me ask you this question. I guess this will determine how good Dame really is or is not. If you take Dame and replace him with Steph, and you put Steph on Portland, are the Warriors still having the same success?
I don't know.
So he's not that guy.
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, because I look at great talents like I got to start. I know we said you replace Dame with Kyrie, but that's a good person to compare him to because if you take Kyrie Irving, as good as he is, and you give him that same Cavs team, right? And when he got traded from the Cavs, LeBron still took them to the finals. Yeah. If you get rid of everybody, I mean, you keep everybody the same and just switch Kyrie and LeBron, I don't think that team goes to the finals. I don't think that team goes to the finals.
You switch
Kyrie and LeBron. Remember when Kyrie got traded to Boston?
Yeah.
LeBron still took that team to the finals. Yeah. Let's say LeBron got traded to Boston, and everybody that LeBron had, that was Kyrie team. I don't think they making the finals.
Well, no, of course not. If you take LeBron off of Cavs, or you
take
LeBron and off any team, they're not going nowhere.
Right, but if you put KD with the Cavs, they can win. Yeah. If you put maybe Steph with the Cavs, that Cavs team, they doing more. So I just feel like certain players, they're just more me players. Yeah. And you could be a me. That's kind of weird because you can be a me player and still kind of the way your game is set up, it like helps other players become better. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean?
I love Kyrie, But I think he's at his best with Bron because
Yeah.
when he's with the Celtics, they went nowhere.
Right.
When he's with Brooklyn, they went nowhere.
Right.
When he's Dallas, they didn't make playoffs.
Right.
So I mean,
They did make the playoffs with Boston, and they kind of made the conference final without him. He got injured. Actually, he didn't even play in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, he didn't.
He didn't even play in the playoffs, but they had a good record in the regular season, and they went to the conference finals without him.
Yeah.
The Nets, they only won 2 rounds with him.
That was it.
And that was it, yeah. So, like I said, some players, like, they good at doing them, but everybody else, like, I don't know. But, you know, it is what it is. Yo, we thank y'all for tuning in for Mel for Queen Sports Talk, WGJS Radio on Our World Media Network. You know, just another Saturday. You know, you got anything else you want to share for the people before we go?
Just so you know, this guy, he's just a random person. He's not the host, guys. Okay, so don't listen to anything he says. He's just a random person that we just found.
All right. Oh, that's right. Today's the 1st, so that's the April Fool's. Got you. Okay, I see where you're going with that.
Oh, no. I mean, like, as if today was April 2nd.
Oh, man.
I'm host, not you.
All right. Yeah. So, your first game. He played basketball too. Your first game is on Tuesday. You ready?
Huh?
You ready for your game on Tuesday?
Peanut butter.
Got me yes or no? You ready? All right.
So, since today is April 1st, April Fools. No!
All right. Well, we thank y'all for tuning in. We thank my boy Rich too,
guys,
behind the scenes doing this thing.
Try
Hey, what's the
Prime.
name? No, we don't market. No market.
Hashtag ad.
No free
Try
marketing.
Prime.
No free marketing. They ain't
Shout
paying.
out to
Nah. They don't. Matter of fact, turn that around. All right, y'all. Thanks for tuning in.
Time move here, Gary.
Talk about elevating and linker. Jermaine Griffin says, well, if Kobe can't do it, maybe it's my turn to take over. I'm the second leading scorer on this team.